We live. Okay, perfect. So welcome everybody to our every Sunday family team call, Team Herbalife. I hope everybody had an amazing week. I know we did. Very powerful, productive. So what we do before we get this call rocking is we go with highlights or positives. We want to. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
We gonna go through some highlights and positives about everybody's week. But before we do that, we're gonna obviously introduce ourselves. So I will go first and kind of tell you guys a little bit about me, my Herbalife journey, my results. So for all of you guys that do not know me, my name is Orlando. We've been doing the business for like 3.5 years now. Currently, global expansion team. Thank you. And so for me, before Herbalife, I was actually an ex-college athlete. I was struggling to gain weight. My result, end of things, I was looking to gain weight. I started Herbalife, like I said, 3.5 years ago on the products, and I was able to gain 30 pounds of lean muscle. It was ridiculous. I started getting real abs, real muscles off of the Herbalife 24 products especially. And I just started to feel more confident, positive, and things like that. And our family and friends started to notice. And by default, we started the business half of things after going to Extravaganza, which is our very, very first event. So like extravaganzas are just super powerful. I encourage everybody to get to that if they have not yet. The next one's in Houston. So I'll go ahead and stop there and let Kylie share a little bit of her story.
Awesome. So my name's Kylie. As you can tell on our thing, everyone calls us Kylando. We actually got that name from Super like over a year ago now.
Yeah.
So like he said, 3.5 years now we've been doing Herbalife. I had just graduated college, got a degree in social work, and was so pumped to go into child protection. Was what my dream was. So we actually did the business full time. It's actually coming on a year now that I was able to quit my job. So I was super thankful for Herbalife. But back to my initial results, I didn't realize how much weight I'd put on in college, knew nothing about nutrition. I did not enjoy working out. Literally did a butts and guts class every 3 months, and it was literally a social event for me to then go out, drink beer, eat pizza for like 5 days. And it's funny now because I lead our butts and guts class at our nutrition club that we have here in Green Bay. So it's kind of funny how the roles have switched with that. So now 3.5 years, I've lost a total of 20 pounds, maintained it off for the 3 years. Went from a size 10 pants down to a size 2. And now I'm working on adding the real abs that we're aiming. Because I said by Cancun, the promotional trip that all of us can qualify for,
You heard it.
I will have abs. So
You heard it.
now it's recorded. Everyone heard it. So it's just been super awesome for us to have Herbalife to really be able to help our family and friends and be the positive outlet in our community for people to come to, making working out fun, making being healthy fun and easy. So that's what I do now. And I'm super excited to now hear all of your guys' positive shares of the last week. So we'll go into that for about 5-10 minutes. If you just want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Yeah. What up? What's going on, everybody? Steven here. Current 2.5 Global Expansion Team member. I wanted to go first to share. First off, thank you for hosting this call today. I feel like it's a good energy from it. It's going to be an amazing call. I'm excited. A lot of amazing things happened last week. We had 4 people in our organization qualify for the 5 against 5 double volume for LDW. So we got a lot of people playing full out. A lot of people did hit their 2,500 by the 15th. I didn't acknowledge that last week, but congratulations to everybody who did their 2,500 by the 15th for Cancun. The Big Mo is here. I feel it. If you don't know what the Big Mo is, ask somebody about it. But I feel like the momentum is here. We'll have 2 frontline supervisors in the next few days working. So I'm just excited that everything is rolling, everything's picking up. And we're about to make some amazing things happen. We got some double pin changes that's about to happen in the next year. So I'm excited that. Whoa. Still my, I don't know who that is.
Adrian.
Still my thunder, baby. I was done though. So I'll pass it back to you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Who's next?
I know we got some highlights, some positives. Let's share them. Ooh, nobody want to jump in, huh?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? No, forget that. Who was it?
Whoa.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
My name's Kylie. I'm from Ainsworth, Nebraska, and I'm super excited because we start our 21-day challenge on Wednesday, and we have about 10 people. I currently have about 10 people joining. Have several new, and so excited to do that as well as get this fit camp started this week. I'm always excited to always see our fit camp people there. So anyway, excited for a new week.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, our pot's at $980 for that challenge. So that's going to be awesome to pay out. Mary, I know you were unmuted, or Adrian.
And no, it's Adrian. No, keep it, Adrian. Shoot, what's going on, y'all? It's Adrian, the beautiful dreadhead. Don't forget about me. Shoot, currently active Royal Team, been in for 3 years. And I'm super appreciative and excited that I can use Herbalife to pay for my bills. So just recently I had, like, my mom had a medical emergency, and we had to come up with $1,400 in 3 days. Now, the crazy thing is, we came up with $1,400 in 3 days. And all I did was tell my mom, I said, "Mom, I don't have that right now to just throw out, because usually I have an extra $1,000 in my bank account for any emergency." My mom knows that, so anytime something wrong goes on, she'll say, "Babe, I need something. Do you have anything?" And usually that happens, but everybody know that it's a lot going on in Adrian life right now, so money's just splurging everywhere. So I was able to help her, and I just noticed that I literally, like, retail all my bills. So it's just stupid dope. Literally, if you love your Lord and Savior, I promise this is a blessing. This company is a freaking blessing, and I got all of my stuff paid for, so it's super dope. I'm fired up, y'all. Like, I'm trying to calm myself down, man. Let me relax. Y'all get back to y'all. Love y'all.
Awesome. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks for that extra boost of fire.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, guys.
Liz, what's up?
What's up, guys? It's Liz. I'm not quite as crazy as he is, but mine wasn't necessarily helping someone else out, but helping myself out this month. Just a really, really tough month financially for me. And when my, like, regular bank account hit, like, 29 cents, it was cool that I still had, like, all my money from Herbalife. And I was like, hey, I can pay my bills this month. So that was awesome. That was a blessing. So there's mine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Who we got?
It's Annie.
Oh, Annie.
Hey. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm currently World Team. Something exciting for me this week, I was able to help. I second the whole being able to pay your bills thing, because when your other job fails or whatever, Herbalife really does pick you up, which is why I want to go full time soon. But in addition to that, I was able to help 8 new people start their fitness journey this week. So that was something that was super exciting for me. 8 people since Monday. Not last Sunday, but since Monday. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, it's telling me that my internet sucks, which it does, but all right.
Awesome.
As long as y'all can still hear me. So I'm super excited about that, because that means that new people are getting new results. I'm also excited because Tuesday is a new month, new goals, new results, for not just me, but for everyone, financially, mentally, and physically. So yeah, cheers to a new month starting on Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take one more so that we can get started with the call. One more powerful share. Okay, we will go.
Cool.
Go ahead, babies.
Oh, well, actually, part of my share was going to be we're starting our 21-day challenge.
Yes.
And the pot was almost $1,000. And the other little share / shout out I want to do, we got a new distributor today.
Yes.
Her name is Mary, and she's on the call.
Yes.
And we're super excited for her. She's been coming to our nutrition club for about 2 months now. And she's ready to pay it forward and help people feel awesome. So super excited for her.
So that's definitely our highlight.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so before we continue, I just want to kind of backtrack here. Steven, the Big Mo is here. That's awesome. I hope everybody knows what that means. I'm not going to share it. I hope everybody just knows. Just feel it. And then also Kylie, excited for the 21-day challenge. You know, we are, girl. We're doing the 21-day challenge with Kylie Bittner as well. So that's going to be super dope to get crazy results for everybody and just kind of get them in the vortex, we like to say. And then Adrian, excited for having Herbalife to pay your bills, 1,400 in 3 days. That's powerful. I'm going to go ahead and take that on starting tomorrow. So I appreciate the grind, brother. And then also Liz paying the bills with Herbalife. We're just also grateful for that extra outlet. We can thank Herbalife every day for that. And then also, last but not least, Annie, 8 new starting people on plans this week. That's crazy. And then just to start a new month off coming up here. But remember, you guys, EOM. So let's grind it out. You know, we got a new month ahead, but let's focus on EOM. Let's make every single day, every single minute count. So with that being said, this is perfect timing. We're going to go ahead and officially start the call. Kylie's going to edify our amazing, energetic, happy, just super dope guest speaker today. And then we're going to go ahead and get this call popping. So if you guys don't have your notepads, your pens, your paper, your cell phones, whatever you got, you might need it on this call. Just saying. So go ahead, Meg.
Yeah, so we get the honor of doing this call, hosting it every few weeks as being one of the tab team in this organization with Steven. So we get to personally pick speakers for this. So I was super excited. And to be honest, I was kind of nervous to message her, even though like I talk to her pretty frequently and every time we see each other, like we say hi. But when we started Herbalife, like she was the one person, like, you know, like you come into Herbalife and like you see someone else's body and you're like, okay, I'm going to do that on the product. So like I would like have creepily like had your picture, Tara, in my phone. And I was like, okay, like she's got the abs I want. Like she has like the body I want. Like she's killing the business and just like genuinely happy all the time. So like I've been following her journey extensively since we've been in Herbalife and built the relationship being on promotional trips. We were able to see her in Disney when she was there with her family and just the connections you can make in the relationships with people. So I'm super excited to hear her story. She's currently 7.5 millionaire team.
Baby Prez.
Yes, so we don't know her full story. So Tara, if you would love to unmute yourself, we're super excited to hear you.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Man, the leadership on this call is super duper with it. And that just really means relevant, in the grind, flowing. That vortex is strong. If you don't know what the Big Mo is, I'll just break it down. Right now, you are riding a wave. Whether or not you made the wave, you don't want to come after the wave. You want to be in the wave. Because if you've ever gone into the ocean and you've been wave surfing, I love that. You have it, no problem. But you want to catch the wave and start swimming before the wave gets there because it creates your own momentum and you become part of the wave. And that's really what the Big Mo is. And what it specifically does is people that are on this call, you're considered leaders. And leaders now, your positive characteristics and the things that you do right now and you show up as, they are magnified. You basically look 10 times better. No offense, this is just what it means, and you really are. So if you drink your shake, 100,000 people will see it and be moved, touched, and inspired, as opposed to usually maybe like 100 to 1,000 people. So just to get some context around what this actually means, you are in the right place at the right time, not because we're saying so, but because the numbers and the work behind what's happened before you even met this call, even all of us, you're always brand new. So just before I started my own story, I just wanted to go into the fact that you're coming into a very similar situation as I did when I came into Herbalife. And that's really what I attribute the majority of our team success to 7.5 Millionaire Team. So if you think about that, if you don't know the marketing plan, no problem. I know this is a family call. I'm not going to talk business, believe me, the whole time. I'll probably cry. But I just want to just have clarity before moving forward, because sometimes we go into things not really knowing. So it's just really good knowing what the last three people just said, a terminology called the Big Mo, and I would look up John C. Maxwell to really get a full understanding as to how you can be a part of the Big Mo, how you can ride this wave and contribute to it, so that for the years to come, the blessings that come back are 100,000 as opposed to 100 to 1,000, if that makes any sense. So with that context being created, I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me on the call. Super blessed. I hadn't been taking calls for months, and just recently I've jumped back on because of the Big Mo and because of my realignment for exactly why I do love Herbalife, the way that I love Herbalife, and who I get to become inside of it. So I'll just start, before Herbalife, I was still as anointed and blessed as right now. I just didn't realize it. So it's not like Herbalife came in and just created a vortex. What Herbalife is it's pretty much an enhancer. It's kind of like I was on the shakes of life, but I didn't have the tea, aloe, and all the vitamins. And oftentimes we don't realize that we come in with a core nutrition of who we were meant to be in this world before we even found this. And what happens is I experienced so many ups and downs that I started blaming the thing that I love the most for the reasons why I thought my life wasn't working. And only when things were great was I happy. And that's probably attributed to a lot of, the abs that you see and the muscles that you see and the physical results, because we are mind, body, and spirit. So it's easy to compartmentalize these things, right? You're like, oh, I'm just going to go really hard on my results. And then you just don't have a mindset, or you don't have, the spirituality of it. And you can't separate from yourself everything else that is a part of the whole of who you are. So as I tell you my story, I just want you to see yourself inside of, where could you do a little bit better, or go to a little bit more work on the things that you're not doing the best. You want to focus on the things that you're doing great, but don't ignore the things that you aren't necessarily putting the work in. Because at the 11th hour, those will be the little details and the things that'll keep you from your goals, which is just really you versus you. But I did find Herbalife. Actually, like we like to say, Herbalife found me. I don't like to say that. I like to say my annoying friend found me on Facebook, and he kept tagging me in pictures. You've probably heard this, but I love telling it because it's true. And he kept tagging me on a photo, that he specifically had, and it was his results photo. And to me, I didn't really see much of a difference. And at the time, my results were already better than his second results. So I wasn't paying attention. So I was sitting at a corporate office desk, and I'll just tell you, I'd had every job you could probably think of. This is just what they call me, but they used to call me the little Jamaican. Because I always had some sort of side hustle, side business, in addition to a corporate job, on top of the fact that I was actress / dancer / singer / bartender / go-go dancer / you could see me in a music video one day and then on top of a box at the club the next day. That was just the reality of the life that I was always used to living. I grew up very poor, not poor mindset-wise, but poor in money. My parents were both from Hawaii, and they came to Los Angeles, and my parents both had 2 or 3 jobs each. Definitely raised my sister. So who I was when Herbalife / my sponsor, who you guys know as 30K Senior Executive President's Team Member, Garen Jones, he was a friend of mine that I used to hire all the time for fashion jobs. We met actually on MySpace Music because we were both artists on MySpace Music. And the things that I'd learned to be from when I was very young, as far as, I was hustling kids at school to pay for Jordans because I played basketball. So it's always just been in me. to do the types of things that we do now on a larger, and in my case, legal scale. There's been times in my lifetime where I wasn't on the up and up. So I've experienced money and accumulating money so often that one picture that he kept tagging me in was the only thing that was really going to speak to me, because as far as money is, I've always known how to make money since I was 5 years old, going to Smart and Final, buying a bunch of Mexican candies, selling them for 4 times the amount to all the little kids before the ice cream truck showed up, and the ice cream truck was wondering why no kids wanted any of the ice cream or the Mexican candy. And it's just a mindset that I had from very young. So coming into Herbalife, I just want to encourage y'all, like, if you don't have that hustler mentality, it's okay. This is still for you. When you see high volume, a lot of that was accumulated by me at the very beginning, because I just had this hustle mentality. It's like I'm all in or I'm not doing this at all. I'm doing this on top of 10 other things I'm doing, and I'm giving everything my all, and I didn't realize that there were things inside of the things that I would learn when I tried my first shake that would be the values and the core values that I have now that really match up to who I get to be. So anyways, he tagged me on these photos, and I did, it's a true story. I did delete him, and he had 2 pages. He had a music page on Facebook, and he had a regular page on Facebook. And I unfollowed him on his music page, and all of a sudden started to not like his music. And then I deleted him on Facebook. I was like, this dude's annoying me because I don't see how you're bringing value to my life. I didn't know that language at the time, but straight up I was like, this dude's annoying. I pay your bills. I was at the time a fashion marketing director for 2 major companies. I've had my own LLC, now an S Corp, since I was 23 years old. So I've known business-minded things because I'd been a real estate agent. Also, I used to flip houses illegally with my boyfriend. We would use other people's credit, so there's things that I just knew how to do business-wise to make it work here in the United States of America. And so for me, I was like, I know how to make money, so stop talking to me about the business. He would tag me in his nutrition stuff, but he really just was headhunting me to make money. I can help you, because he knew my mindset. It wasn't until he hit me on Voxer. I think it was some sort of messenger that we both had at the time, kind of like an IM type of thing. He hit me on text message. He hit me up on anything you could think of at the time. Voxer was the most. He loved Voxer because I couldn't talk back to him. And that's what I figured out. He would send these long, drawn-out messages, and I don't even think it had the rabbit thing where you can speed somebody up at the time. I was like, I'm not listening to this fool. So finally, he calls me. He's like, Tara, please check your Voxer. And then he hung up, and he was like, check my results. And so I told him to request me as a friend again. I went back, and it all made sense. I mean, to me, he had taken, I think it was a picture in the bathroom at the time of someplace he was sleeping in, to be quite honest. I think it was like an airport or something like that. Bus station, train station, something. And I could see a clear difference in his results from when he had started. And there was a He-Man next to his results. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm sold. I went to a nutrition club with a bunch of happy people running around. And yes, I am a happy person. I work on it daily, believe me. But very blessed, highly favored, and I am grateful, but I do work on it moment to moment, just reminding myself. And I think that's when it really hit me that I knew in that moment that something was going to be different, because the choice that I made, and you guys, this is 6.5 months. So if you haven't followed up with someone 7 times, try 6.5 months worth. He was desperate, but he really did inside believe in me inside of a template of something that was changing his life so much that he was willing to get rejected so often, so long. And that's what meant the most to me. I actually befriended a girl named Layla Jalul. She's a Millionaire team member. She's now pregnant and in an amazing relationship. And, her life is amazing right now. And I saw a picture of her. It was a before and after photo. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Mean Girls, but that was me. I was a mean girl at the time. I was in fashion, for goodness sakes, fashion and marketing at the same time in Los Angeles. No one's telling you the truth to your face in Los Angeles when you're in fashion or marketing. Because on top of that, we're dealing with New York and everywhere else in the world. And I've been well traveled, been to Paris, been all over the world, China all the time, Japan. So for me, I'd been traveling, but I was traveling at the time for other people. And when I actually went to this nutrition club that I found out, it showed me a vision of like a bunch of people I didn't even believe. I was like, don't these people have jobs? Like, what are they? I created all these stories. Like, first of all, I walk in with my like Tory Burch shoes, you know what I'm saying? My like Ferragamo purse. I'm looking around, like people barely got Nikes on. And it's like taking me back to like judgmental terror. I was like, these people ain't got nothing going on. Where's the hidden cameras? I'm out of here. But it wasn't until I saw Layla and her picture, and I was like, this girl could potentially be a friend of mine. You know, her hair was done. She had done a bikini competition, and I saw the vision. I tasted the shake. To be honest, I was not impressed. I don't know who made the shakes that night. I'm just going to keep it real. But I was like, look, I don't like this shake. Tastes like chalk. But I'm going to give you my credit card, and whatever you got to do, you better give me the biggest discount or I will find out and I will be pissed off at you. And so then Brian Holyfield, potentially your upline, your upline. Basically, he's my grandpa in the biz. He came right behind Garen at the time, and he was like, you know, you should know what you're actually drinking. And I'll always remember that. I'm like, you're right. Like, how can I find that out? He said, meet us tomorrow morning. You're going to find out more about the products. And that's all that he needed to say. The next morning I came to, I think it was called at the time a quick start training. And that's where it was not quick at all. I was there for like 6 hours, but I stayed. The first part of the training was about the products. And the next part was this like convoluted explanation about the marketing plan. And then the third part was just about the community. But I have to tell you, it was really the way that I felt about what people were saying that I didn't really pay attention to much, other than I saw that you could move up, you can move quick. And I knew that I could just get on the grind and be who I needed to be to make this happen. And I saw people that were getting out of their full-time jobs. And at the time, I literally had like 3 full-time jobs. You know, I've always been team no sleep. It's not like I came into Herbalife and now I wake up at 3:33 in the morning. Like, I've always just been like that. I used to figure skate since I was 4. My dad was waking me up, putting side ponytails in my hair at 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, I've been about this life. But Herbalife gave me like a purpose behind it. You know, a purpose behind, you know, why would I wake up and what do I do from 4 to 9 right now? I'm an adult. Like, what am I doing from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock? And that's actually my first tip. If you don't have some sort of morning regimen, y'all, no joke, it's about the shakes, the tea, and the tabs, and that's a great start. But if you don't have things in your brain like talking to you that are positive affirmations, somebody that knows more than you about something that you want in life, you're really, really just going out into the world without being properly prepared. Believe me, there's many a days I have not gotten up on the right side of the bed, and I have not listened to my personal development. I have not done my I ams in the mirror. I have not said how grateful I am, and I have not loved, and I walked out and everything went wrong. Like, literally, someone got my mail that was like a check that I needed. All of a sudden, I'm wondering why there's a flat on my car. All of a sudden, and if you're wondering all those things that are happening in your life, I'm pretty sure now, look, the rain is going to fall on everybody, you know, and the sun shines on everybody. But if you're trying to create a story around why these things may be happening, you should check the first 30 minutes of the day. So that's the first tip. And that's what I did learn in Herbalife. You know, I got on these products after looking at them sitting on my kitchen counter, very similar to the kitchen counter back there, but about a quarter of the size. Because, you know, at the time, it's interesting because I've told my story out of order before, but I'm going to tell you the real order. Right when I got on the products, right when I purchased the products, I didn't take them right away. But I had belief in it so much so that I started to get irritated at the job that I thought that I loved. You know, for me, I was eating donuts all the time. I became a donut. I had a donut mindset, donut body, no abs to be found. You know, that was my life. But the real donut that happened was I really leapt before even thinking, and I'm so glad that I did. You know, I started filling out the marketplace and asking people about Herbalife. And I hadn't even really tried the box that came and sat on my kitchen counter. And because no one had heard about it at the time in my circle of influence of people, so I was like an actress / dancer / singer / athlete. I'm clearly a minority woman. I was living in Marina Del Rey, but what happened was I literally knew that I did not want to be in the job I was in anymore. So I actually left Marina Del Rey. I called Mercedes-Benz. I was driving a CL 550 drop top. Had them come repossess the car. I barely just paid off the difference of what that car was like 2 years ago. Been in business for 5 years. And I actually leapt before even trying the real product, to be quite honest. And I don't know what that was about. I'm sure we'll figure that out at some other time, but I just wanted to tell the story in the real order that it happened. Was I just knew I wanted something different. And I think it was the feeling that I got from the Nutrition Club and the genuine. I didn't see Garen as genuine. I'm not saying he's not. He's very genuine. Don't misquote me on that. However, at the time, I thought he was full of ish, and I was just like, let me help my poor friend that I be hiring all the time. That was what I was saying in my mindset. But I trusted Brian for some reason at the time, because he just came on the back end and he said the right thing, and it happened to be. And you never know, like if people aren't listening to you and you're on this call and they're your front line, they have all these reasons why they're not going to listen to you. It may not have anything to do with you. It may have to be about whatever their story is about who they are at the time. But I just thought Garen was full of it. So luckily Brian was there, and it was a feeling of like, I think I got a security, like a sense of security. And like, my whole life I had always been the one to be the breadwinner of my family. You know what I'm saying? I was always the one that was making moves. I put myself through college, collegiate athlete, MVP of everything. When they talk about trophies, I had all the trophies. Believe me, if there's a sport to have been played, I probably played it, and I won, and I was on the all-star team, traveling team, AAU, all of that. Somehow my parents figured it out. But what I'll tell you is those trophies don't mean anything unless more people are empowered and inspired by the trophies that you're creating in your life. Because I do remember, and I want to share this with you, when I came back from, I was married, I was almost married at one point. My boyfriend at the time, my fiance, played for the Vikings. And I just remember waking up one morning, and this is like 2 years before Herbalife. No, this is a long time before Herbalife, but it's now that I'm talking about it. I remember I woke up and I knew something wasn't right in my gut. And I promised I would not have found Herbalife if I hadn't made this decision. And God was like, T, go home. Like, you're not meant to marry this person. And I loved him. He was my college sweetheart, all that stuff. Flew back to LA and went into a deep depression, found out I was pregnant, called and told him. We got back together, started arguing like crazy. I don't know if this is the reason, but 3 weeks later I had a miscarriage. And I remember like it hurt him so bad. And that was the first realization I had of like how what happens to you is really has a ripple effect on other people. And it's crazy, but no one ever does this. I don't know anyone that does this, but I mean, he literally opted out of being in the NFL, and no one heard from him for like years. He like resurfaced after years. But I tell you that to say, when I was depressed, I was like sleeping in my attic, my parents' attic at their house when I had moved back from Minnesota. And I woke up to my trophies every morning because that's where my parents had them. And when I say I had trophies, I didn't have like 2 or 3 trophies, like straight up. My parents' attic was probably as big as this room, and I had at least 220 trophies from karate, basketball, all this stuff, medals, gold mostly from running track. And I just remember, I think seeing those trophies was at the time this reminder of like these physical things that we have in this world to create this value or momentum of who we are. But yet I was like, dang God, I'm not even worthy to have a child. And I started creating all these stories about my body. I started, I became bulimic at that time. And I think that might have had something to do with the miscarriage as well. But I just remember in those moments, I was so lost, and my body became a big thing to me to show off. And it's just odd that I would even do that. I started dressing really terribly. I was a virgin when I met my fiance at the time, started totally wilding out. I never really drank that much, started doing ecstasy, definitely at least on the weekends, if not usually every time I would go out, especially because I was in fashion, you guys. And like, I'm not saying it's because of that world, but it's the choices that I made inside that world. And plus I was in PR too. So public relations, I was literally like giving clothes out like candy to a bunch of celebrities and living that lifestyle. So I just remember when I first did open the box after I had tried, the shake, I wasn't impressed. But after I opened the box, I had downsized from living in Marina Del Rey. And I'm telling you, everyone thought I was crazy. Most people think I'm still crazy. And you know what? It's the crazy people that change the world. So you can write that down if you're crazy too. But everyone thought I was crazy. Like, why are you moving from Marina Del Rey? Why are you driving a Mazda stick shift right now? Like, what are you doing with your life? I literally had no rhyme or reason. I was following something that was telling me not to be where I was at the time. And this was before I even tried the shake that changed my life for real. And I got back, I'm going to tell you, it was like, I think it was just over a month after I got back. And Garen was like following up like a really annoying person, just like I'd always remembered him. Did you try the shake? Did you try the shake? Did you try the shake? Deleted it again. It was like this whole saga. So much drama. Just do your personal development. You won't have to deal with that kind of stuff, or my kind of people, or maybe you will. But you'll be prepared. I just remember I tried prepare for this workout, and I thought so highly of myself. I was like, ain't nothing gonna happen. Like, I already got this. When I tried to prepare, I was so, I know this is overused, but I don't know what else, lit. I was like super lit. Like fire was coming out of my head. I was in the gym. I thought I was already killing it. Then I was like, I really thought, I was like, yo, is this steroids? I know I probably shouldn't say that, but in my mind, I was like, what did this dude give me? Like, I'm benching. I don't bench usually. And I literally started jumping. If you knew me at the very beginning, I would jump on every machine in the gym in one session for no reason other to just do it. And I felt it. And I raced home after my workout, and I was feeling myself because of this prepare. And I cracked open the Rebuild Strength. I couldn't find the scooper. I had a whole heyday. At the time, I cussed quite a lot. And cussed out Garen, told him I was going to call corporate. You're $1 billion company, blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't have no scoopers in this thing. I did this whole thing around that. He's like, just drink the shake. I'm like, okay. I got my shaker cup with water in it, put the 2 scoops in. I drank it. I'm going to tell you, like, I really haven't, and I'm not exaggerating. I've definitely watched a lot of superhero movies. I definitely watched Dragon Ball Z. I definitely love She-Ra. I definitely love all that stuff. I've written scripts about superheroes and love stories and all sorts of stuff. And when I tell you, like, all my dreams and 2 scoops of Rebuild Strength came true, like, I felt it. I was like, this is what they feel. You know, and I've been doing stunts as well, you guys. I'm a stunt woman as well. I don't know if you know that. But, like, any edge that you can get when you're doing stunts to be stronger, faster, quicker, anything, you put that on your resume right away, and you're booked for like 10 more jobs, 10 more shows, another movie. It just increases like your stock in the entertainment industry. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to rack up in life. And I'm telling you, that's all I needed. It was literally like liquid gold going through my veins. Nothing anyone said prior to or after was gonna ever change the way I felt in that moment. So that's my second tip, is experience the moments of right now. Like, really, because the moments of right now are going to be the reason why you're spiraling out of the vortex, not on the spinning grid, out in La La Land somewhere where you're going to need to remember how that moment felt. And if the moment passes and you don't acknowledge it, then you're less likely to get yourself out of that swamp later on. So I felt it so much that I just knew I was going to change everything. When I say change everything, I was like, oh, I'm quitting I'm not telling you to do this. This is just me. I'm quitting my job. I'm about to be like the highest like paid stunt girl ever. Like, I'm about to bench the world. Like, what are we doing? Let's get this party going. There was some fitness women that are amazing that have been in Herbalife. I didn't know them at the time. To me, no one existed but Tara Malia, Prepare, and Rebuild. And that is really how I started just my Herbalife career, period. You know, and it's really important to know that and to connect in such a way to that, because you're going to need that if you're going to have any sort of staying power in this business. I'm going to tell you, your upline is going to disappoint the heck out of you, like a lot. And not because of them, because of both of y'all. It's the way it is. It's the nature of life. Your downline is going to disappoint the heck out of you. Your sideline, your crossways line, Chairman's Club members, Founder Circle members, you can't find the scooper. Everyone is going to be to blame. But if you can just hold on to the ownership of a moment, you're going to be able to power through, and you're going to have staying power. So that's my third tip actually, is just write down, I will stay. I will stay. Like, weather the storm and stay. Because it's no one's fault or any scooper's non-existence fault or upline, downline, what they used to be, who they're becoming even now, their language. Everyone says boom. Like, little things annoy us, right? It's like, okay, really, boom? Everybody says boom. What does that even mean? Like, there's little things. I know. We see it on Facebook all the time. Like, this is a bunch of, like, come on, these people. Boom, really? What does that mean? Heart? Everyone's putting a heart. You didn't mean that? You know, we create these stories around why we won't find this opportunity as the best opportunity of a lifetime. And we'll create it around they ain't real because of boom. Or they ain't real because best life ever. Really, best life ever. We create these things. I'm going to just keep it real because I've been the creator of many a thing that I thought was ridiculous, even to today. Sometimes I'll see someone quote something I said 4 years ago and I'm thinking, why did I say that? That's annoying. But look, I take ownership. And inside of all of these things, do not quit because of that feeling and that moment. You know, we hear it, it's like at the end of your feelings is nothing. Really capturing a feeling that's attached to people like changing their life forever, or really capturing a moment that shifts your mindset, those are the feelings that you can get caught up in. But don't get caught up in the emotion of a moment, so much so that you create a standard for other people that has nothing to do with why they showed up. And it's really interesting that we hear all these personal development quotes floating all over the place, and we latch on to whatever makes sense for what we're strong at, and it allows us to eliminate what we're not strong at so that we can just kind of mask that other stuff over there. But everything only means something if you put meaning to it. You know, my best quote that I've been telling myself recently is, look, you are weak-minded if you're speaking of other people. Great minds speak about ideas. And so that's what I mean about an idea of a feeling. Because of that feeling, so many ideas sprung up from that were literally like lifting me up out of the lack mindset that I created from, and I wouldn't call myself a druggie or an alcoholic really, but they were enough of a God in my life. It was more like an escape. To be quite honest, donuts was way more of a God than those things were. But all of it is not the best for you if you're putting it before your faith, your focus, the things that you're driving for in life. But what I do want to leave you with is like a few things. You know, in those moments, that was actually the moment that carried me through. You know, within 8 months, I hit active World Team with my team. We did it with 3 supervisors with volume. We did 12,747.12 within like that month. It was in February of 2013. And no, I didn't memorize it. It's on the screen. Not that awesome. I'll get there one day. And I'll just tell you this because the numbers do matter, and I want to bring it back to just closing out here. You know, within 11 months, you guys, I hit global expansion team, and it wasn't me. It was realizing like, dang, I got to pour into a team and be better for them. That was the shift between active World Team and global expansion team. For me, I started listening a lot to the 360-degree leader by John C. Maxwell. I started listening to a lot of Mind of a Mental Giant. I actually moved to Hawaii. My why was my nephew at the time. He's still part of my why. My sister had a son, and she gave him up for adoption in Hawaii. So I was like, I'm going to take care of this kid. Don't worry, I got this. I thought I was going to get a pink jet in 8 months. But it's okay. I got a flight to Hawaii, and I lived there while he was in kindergarten. And we hit 22,495, 26,727. If you don't understand these numbers, I just would like to say them to you to create a space for you to hit these numbers as well and exceed them. And then our last cut was with 11 supervisors with volume. Only 11. You know, you guys, it was crazy because it was just, we hit 40,835. So literally we went from 26K to 40K in a month. And the difference in that between May and June was the momentum that was created behind the fact that I was literally in Hawaii preparing for what I loved at the time, like love just as much as Herbalife was bodybuilding. And I got to be with like my nephew during that month every single day because his teacher got on product. I promise it's because I felt so good with everything happening in my life and purpose that the numbers escalated because of the work that I was doing in the relationships with my frontline tab team members at the time. And I'll always remember that moment and those feelings. We qualified Future Pres Team Retreat at 56,820 in August of 2013, and that's when the harvest started to begin. Definitely look up Jim Rohn. If you've been to an SDS, you've probably heard it, but the seasons, and I see my life like the seasons. Sometimes the winters last years, but as soon as you start to see things as a harvest and start acting like it, that's when it shifts. And then we went into mill cuts, 95,000, 135, 178. And that was with 39 supervisors with volume. And then our 7,500 mill cuts were spring, summer 2014. We actually hit our first cut of 7,500 the same month that I stepped on stage to do my bodybuilding competition with Herbalife and Food Alone. So I'm very clear that the purpose behind it was driving it. We hit 179,000, 174,000, 174,000, and that was with 81 supervisors. So basically, from January to May, we went from 39 to 81 supervisors doing volume, and it all had to do with the positive conversations I was having about the things I loved about other people's goals within that time. And I'll tell you, that was then. And as I close out, this is now. Our team has been at 7,500 mill team for 2 years. And within that 2 years, I've learned the biggest lessons and created the most amazing woman that I could have ever been proud of in my lifetime. At the time, from July 2012 to May of 2014, I averaged personally 12,700 volume points personally. And then the last 2 years, I've averaged 6,200 personal volume points. And that would literally be like a 4,000 volume point month. And then I hone in on something, I hit an 8,000 volume point month. Super duper sporadic. And what I can tell you is, look, congratulate yourself, Tara Malia, that you're still in the game. Okay, that's the first thing. Like, let's get this life. But also, there's going to be things that happen in your life. In January, 3 people in my family died that were very close to me. My cousin committed suicide, and I'm not telling you this to feel bad for me or my family. We're very resilient. My aunt and my uncle, and I was on a rock in the middle of Hawaii, and I was like, God, what the heck do I need to learn from this point forward that's going to propel this team and attract the people that really need to see Herbalife as this positive attribute in their life. And he gave me a ton of answers, and a lot of it had to do with focus, purpose, and not worrying about everyone thinking you're crazy. Following his lead. And I had to take time. I've regained confidence in my spiritual walk. That was the biggest thing for me, was if I'm going to say God, family, Herbalife, I need to be God, family, Herbalife. So take that for what it is to you. You have some leaders on the team that clearly exemplify God, family, Herbalife. I'm not giving that to you as that's my thing. If that's your thing, awesome. If it's not your thing, create whatever that thing is for you that's going to keep you focused on what your goals are. And I'm going to tell you, for the past 2.5 years, 100%, my main goal has not been President's Team. It just hasn't. My main goal has been like, who do I get to be as Tara Malia as a vessel for Christ? And that's just because I put that first. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you you're not doing it if President's Team is your goal. I'm just telling you my story. And for me, I had to really take a step back, because a lot of the things I was doing by my own might, and I really encourage y'all not to take things by your own volition, as in you're doing it and it's working because of you. Really take it more as a conversation you get to have with yourself on how you get to show up in the world and how that set an example for people. And if now, obviously things have shifted a little bit. I'll show you. Oh, here. Now President's Team is definitely the goal that stares me in the face. And it's not the little one on the door. It's the big one from the table. I'm going to tell y'all, I was given that President's Team pin 4 times in the past 2 years, and I gave it away. Like, I gave it to my downline. But in their mind, they're like, well, she thinks we deserve it more than she deserves it. So we just gonna go ahead and hit it. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm grateful for it. Because now I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know who I am in Christ. That's my story. Now I know who I get to become in the world, which is dancing, singing, acting, writing, doing all the things that I love, my passion, stepping it up a notch, getting my website done. Why haven't you gotten your website done? Your YouTube channel that everyone's waiting for so they can do their fitness in addition to their shakes. Like all these things I said I was going to do that didn't. I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and do all the things I said I was going to do. And now things are shifting. The tide is changing. You know, the HMPs are rising. The volume's getting higher. You know, I see it. And it's not just about that. That's actually just, you know, the cherry on top of the work that I got to do inside of myself. You know, so as I move forward, you know, that's my last two tips are that, you know, just if you ever do anything, just don't give up. Just keep going. Find that feeling again and find new. And that's not like find new, and then like kick everybody else to the curb. It's like just find new and expose each other to one another. And choose your COI. Whoever is around you right now, you've actually chosen and attracted them. So you can't really blame them for anything other than that's who you're being right now. And then the two most important people I'll say that you get to choose is your mentor and an accountability partner. COI is a circle of influence. So whoever those 5 people are around you, 6 people, 2 people, 7 people, 5 people is just, it's a great number. It's a nice number. 5 gets 5, 5K, that kind of thing. 5 times 2 is 10, 10K. It's a good number. But just focus on the people around you, your circle of influence. That's the people that influence you and you influence them. And I say really choose a mentor that you would change shoes with for a day. If somebody has a lot of money but you wouldn't do the things they're doing, don't trade shoes with them. You're not going to be happy in the end. If someone says a lot of things that sound really great but then their life doesn't reflect it, I would say don't choose them either. And then get an accountability partner. Get somebody that's a comrade of yours, somebody that's like at the same mindset level where you're at, and really just be the type of person for them and hold them to a standard to be that for you. So as you go out into the world, you should really be spending 33% of your time with people that have more, not just worldly, but just have more mindset, characteristics and hot triggers, which means like things around their life that really lead them and funnel them into the direction that they need to go, like that pin right there. If there's somebody that doesn't have that pin in front of their face all day and they say they want Prez team, they're a little less likely, not that they're not doing the work, than, if they were the person that put the pin in front of their face. Those sorts of things, hot triggers that are gonna be like your shoes by the door. You know what I'm saying? You don't wanna go to the gym, but the shoes are already by the door. Things like that. I've got a thermometer up there for Punta Cana. I would not be thinking about Punta Cana, believe it or not, if I didn't have a thermometer showing me how far I was from Punta Cana. Create things in your environment that are going to keep you accountable. That's one of my accountability partners. Like my actual house is an accountability partner. Super duper accountable. My bed is actually more uncomfortable than the bed that's in the guest room because I really don't have a reason to just stay in my bed. Now it's still comfortable, but it's not as comfortable as the guest room. And I did that on purpose, so I know that. And so that's the last 2 things I have to say. Right now, you guys, I'll just share with you the type of income that you can make in the highs and the lows of wherever you're going in your mindset is really going to determine what you do in the next 48 hours or the next season. I don't know how long the Big Mo is going to last because it literally started like a few months ago. So we're in the middle of it now. Now, if the Big Mo stops tomorrow, I just hope for the next however many hours you have tonight that you take advantage of that thing, because the Big Mo is real. It is so real. It's not even about EOM. It's about if you don't lock in right now, you are literally setting your life backwards for no reason. And lock in doesn't mean lock in the way that I lock in or your sideline. It's like, what do you need to do and who do you need to become to make sure that as a leader, people see you 10 times greater, people see Herbalife as 10 times better, people see the words that come out your mouth that much more valid, people see your results as like Mother Teresa just came down and got abs. Like, it's gotta be like that, because that's what the Big Mo does. Because you're gonna find a point in your career, if you really do have staying power to stay in this thing, and I suggest you stay in as long as possible, because there's gonna be a time there is not the Big Mo, and you're gonna remember I said this, because this was said to me by John Tartle back in Dallas at an LDW, and I did not heed his words the way that I know I could have. So with that being said, in these last 48 hours, I would say whatever goal you had at the beginning of the month, I don't care if it seems like it's not going to happen. For me, I got to hit 5,000 more volume points, which is nothing if I talk to everybody I need to talk to, follow up with everybody I need to follow up with, be the best version of Tara, like the words that fly out of my mouth and look at them like, is that real? Okay, if it's not real, say it's not real. Like those little things matter. So don't decrease your goal, increase your action. So if 5K in the next 48 hours looks really far to you, you probably have not called enough people. Or maybe you're sitting there watching, I don't know, what do you people watch these days? Power or Basketball Wives? Is that like a thing still? I don't know. I just hear by way of social media. Anyways, if you are watching those things, I'm not judging you, but your volume will judge you. So don't do that, okay? So just increase your action and, you know, congratulate yourself along the way, but don't be afraid. Don't be hard on yourself, but like, come on, y'all. Like, let's pull up our big girl and big boy panties and be like, yo, I know I didn't do what I needed to do. So I'm not going to blame everybody else for the things that are not getting done inside of my life. But God bless you all so much. I think I ended pretty well. Good job, T. Timely. That's a win for Tara Malia. You know, brevity is a super team thing. So I will zip it and I will open up for questions.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you for all of that the past 50 minutes. Tons of notes were taken on our end.
Yes.
Totally thank you for your transparency. A lot of that part of your journey isn't something that any of us knew. So we totally appreciate the transparency to really see that side of your journey that got to you to where you are today. So what we're going to do now is open up the call for some questions with our last few minutes. So if you have anything, or even if you'd just like to thank Tara for taking her time to be on the call as well, just unmute yourself.
You are absolutely awesome. This is Adrian. Don't forget that. This is Adrian. You're awesome. I just wanted to let you know, when I first got in Herbalife, believe it or not, when my fraternity brother started me on, Stephen Crawford, by the way, when he started me up, he sent me a bunch of results to keep in my phone, so it helped me speak on results because I ain't have any at the moment. But you were literally the one, for some reason, my heart connected to the most. So that's dope that I actually got to actually listen to you, because oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, I love listening to you too, especially watching you dance, being a dancing lover. So it's absolutely dope. I really appreciate the transparency. Like, seriously, I really appreciate the transparency. Your words of freaking wisdom, I feel like I grew as a person just listening to the words you was using all night. So it's dope. And I was totally okay with going over an hour and some change to listen to you. So I appreciate you, girl. I really do. It's all nothing but love from here. Nothing but love. Nothing but freaking love.
Thank you, man. If I had dreads, I'd be shaking them things right now. I appreciate you. That means a lot. I don't take things lightly, especially when, man, the journey's real, you guys. Just stay in it. So thank you, Adrian. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Would anyone else like to share anything?
I will. My name's Kylie from Nebraska, and I just want to say thank you. Exactly what Kylie said. Parts of your journey were definitely something that, I've followed you for 2.5 years since I've been in Herbalife. You were one of the first ones that I've started following. And so just hearing more of your journey and who you are, your faith and God-driven lifestyle is something that I look at. It's a model that I follow. Oh my gosh, I'm like crying. But once you really find your why and what is your, God-driven is my first passion. God, family, Herbalife, and that's something. And so having someone to look at and to follow their journey along that is incredible, and we have that right here in Herbalife. So I thank you for you finding your path and sharing it with everyone.
Thank you, girl. I go to your page for inspiration too, by the way. Yeah, you fire me the heck up. Yeah, it's not me. It really is all God. I'm not saying that like a quote. Like, I'm scared to even take ownership of any of the great stuff that comes out of here because I know my own thoughts. So I appreciate you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kylie.
We'll take a few more.
Yeah, I'm on.
There it is.
Mike is hot. What up, y'all? Man, so first off, obviously, thank you, Tara, for getting on here. There are so many people that you connect with, and I think the thing that stands out the most for me is when you talked about how Ryan Holyfield was the person who really got you, and that's not your sponsor. It just happened to be, you know, somebody that you're connected with. And one thing that I want to get everybody clear on, the reason why I continuously do these calls and in the way that they've just unfolded and blossomed into this is because of one thing I learned in that book that you mentioned, which is crazy because I just suggested it, that the John C. Maxwell audiobook to everybody, the 360-degree leadership. But just because one thing I learned in there was you can't be the only thing that ties somebody to this business. And somebody else's story may be what makes someone else stay. And the reason we do this like we do it is because I would have never, you know, been able to, you know, connect on the level of, you know, like, you know, making Kylie cry or, you know, making people feel that emotional connection because it's what you do. And being able to open up, you know, I think it's just everything is perfectly aligned in what you were saying as far as, you know, what leadership qualities are. So I appreciate you getting on here, sharing it from a very vulnerable space. I know it gets emotional at times when we think about this journey that we've been on, but I think a lot of people needed to hear your story, and I'm just grateful for the platform that we get to share with everybody to inspire people. So I appreciate you taking time out of your day, and those of you who are staying up late, I appreciate you all for staying. There's power in staying, so I appreciate you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. Yeah, you have a great leader, and I'll tell you why very quickly. Because he's willing to grow. And I think that's just the biggest thing that I've really just taken from Stephen through this journey is, you know, his willingness to own up to his stuff, and everyone has stuff, and just be better. And I just want to thank you for that, because it's not just, when you guys see the pins, there's like so much inside of a pin, like just the battles, the internal battles that we have. And it's so easy to judge everybody else so that we can make ourselves feel better about our stuff. And I just want to say thank you, Stephen, for being, you know, that person that, you know, we see the VIP, and believe me, some of us know exactly what to do to sit VIP. And then you get to a point where there's a day where you're not, and you get to reflect on, and it's not just VIP, but it's just seeing someone that you see here, holding their head high and still standing firm and showing up. And I just want to thank you so much for just continuing to show up as you do, and your willingness to grow, Stevens, because I've learned a lot from that.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll ask one more time if anybody has any questions or any comments. If not, we'll close out the call. Thank you again, Tara. If any of you guys, I don't know if she's open just for thank yous, or any of you want to message her directly, thanking her for taking her time, transparency. One thing I just want to repeat that you said at the end, since it is EOM, that don't decrease your goal, increase your actions.
Yes.
And that is very, very powerful, especially as it is EOM. We have plenty of time to definitely impact more lives. So thank you again. I'm going to unmute the line.
Thank you.
Everyone can say good night in there. Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you. Everyone. Thank you.
Yo, yo.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Good night.